Let's talk about that weird, hollow feeling in your chest. You're sitting in your room, locked in on your work, and you're just trying to get some rest. And then you get that little notification. You look at your phone and suddenly you're looking at a highlight reel of everyone else's night. They're all out, they're all at a party, they're all together, and you're just there, in your room. That feeling is FOMO, the fear of missing out. But it's not just about parties, it's everywhere. It's that twitch you get when a new phone drops and everyone starts posting about it, making you feel like your current one is absolute garbage. It's the feeling that if you aren't doing exactly what everyone else is doing, you're failing in life. In today's world, FOMO isn't an accident. It's a business model. Marketing companies spend billions of dollars specifically to make you feel like you're behind. Also, you'll just buy their stuff to catch up. They want you to feel like you're missing out, because a person who feels like they're missing out is a person who spends money. Think about the last time a big product launched. The advertisements don't just tell you what the product does, they show a lifestyle. They show people looking cool, looking happy, and looking in the loop. They make it very clear that if you don't have this, you're on the outside looking in. Society has been set up to reward the missing out factor. Companies know that humans are social creatures. We have a primal need to be a part of the tribe. When they market a trend, they aren't selling you a product. They're selling you a ticket to not feel left behind. You're not missing out on a phone. You're being tricked into thinking you're missing out of a social status. You buy it, you feel good for a day, and then the next trend hits. It's a cycle that never ends because the goalposts are always moving. There's this very specific type of FOMO that hits closer to home than anything else. It's when you're looking at your phone and your girlfriend goes completely silent. Your brain instantly starts making up scenarios. Is she out cheating on me? Does she not like me anymore? Did I say something weird the last time we spoke? You sit there staring at a blank screen, feeling this heavy weight on your chest, totally paralyzed by the thought that you're being left out. That's the dark side of being constantly connected. We've become so addicted to knowing what everyone is doing every second of the day that silence feels like an attack on our status. But 99% of the time, it's all in our head. But 99% of the time, it's all in your head. People are just busy, or sleeping, or doing their own thing. By letting that silence ruin your night, you're letting an imaginary scenario steal your peace of mind. Social media is basically the birthplace of FOMO. Think about the apps you use. Every single feature, the stories, the live updates, the public achievements. It's designed to show you what you don't have. When you see your friends' Instagram stories, you're seeing only that tiny edited slice of their night. You don't see the boring parts, the drama, the awkward silence, or the drive home. You only see the fun parts. Your brain takes that one picture and builds an entire fantasy that they're having the time of their lives while you're wasting yours. This puts you in a state of constant emotional panic. You stop doing what you actually love, like working on your business, hitting the gym, or reading, because you're too busy checking your phone to see what everyone else is doing. You aren't living your life. You're living a secondary version of it shaped by what other people are showing you. When you live for the stakes of not missing out, you lose yourself. You start saying yes to things you don't even like just to feel included. You start buying clothes you don't actually need, attending events that drain your energy, and following trends that don't match your personality. Every time you give into FOMO, you're trading your own path for someone else's opinion of what cool looks like. You start to feel like you're constantly on edge. You can't be happy with your own work because you're measuring it against everyone else's highlight reel. It's a recipe for burnout. You're running a race that doesn't exist, against people who don't care about you as much as you think they do. Now, here's the secret. You aren't missing out. You're actually kinda missing in, one might say. When you decide to stay home and build your future while everyone else is out partying, you aren't losing, you're winning. Most of the people out there are just looking for a distraction. They don't have a plan, they don't have a vision, they're just trying to kill time. If you're working on your craft, your fitness, or your goals, you aren't behind. You're actually ahead of the curve. The fact that you have the discipline to say no to a night of cheap fun is exactly why you'll be on a different level than everyone else in a year or two. You aren't missing out on life. You're building a foundation that they'll wish they had. The biggest mistake we make with FOMO is we direct our fear at the wrong things. We are terrified of missing out on a party, a hangout, or a trend, or a meme, but you're completely ignoring the one thing that you actually should be afraid of missing out on: your own life. Every single time you choose to go to a party you didn't even want to attend, you're missing out on an hour of sleep, an hour of working out, an hour of building your own future. every choice is a trade-off. If you're gonna be afraid of missing out, start by being afraid of missing out on the person who you could become in 5 years. Be terrified of looking back at your youth and realizing you traded your dreams just to fit in with people you don't even talk to anymore. Turn that fear into fuel for your own goals. Think about a time you actually gave into the fear and went to a party or a hangout just because you didn't want to feel left out. What actually happened when you got there? Most of the time, you sit on a couch, stare at your phone, and realize the music is too loud to even have a real conversation. It's kind of boring, but then someone pulls a phone out. Suddenly, everyone puts on a fake smile, throws up a peace sign, and acts like it's the wildest night of their lives for a 3-second video. The second the camera goes away, everyone drops the smile and goes right back to looking bored. You need to realize that the things you're stressing over missing out on are usually completely fake. People are staging their lives to look exciting because they are just as insecure as you are. They want to make the world think they're having fun, when in reality, they're just wasting a Tuesday night. Stop torturing yourself over a fake video clip on Instagram. A major reason your brain is always on edge is because of a bad habit called just-in-case browsing. A major reason your brain is always on edge is because of something is because of a bad habit. A major reason why your brain is always on edge is because of a bad habit that I like to call just-in-case browsing. You keep 5 different group chats unmuted, you check your stories every 10 minutes, and you stay way past your bedtime scrolling through reels. If someone asks you why, you say, "Oh, I'm just checking just in case something happens." But nothing ever happens. All you're doing is draining your mental battery for absolutely no reward. When you leave your brain wide open to every single piece of noise from the outside world, you lose the ability to focus on your own life. You can't enjoy your video game. You can't focus on your workout. You can't even enjoy a movie because a tiny voice in your head is constantly wondering what you're missing. This just-in-case habit keeps you always in a state of survival. Turn off the notifications, put your phone in another room, and give your mind permission to be fully present where your feet are. So, how do you actually beat FOMO? Pretty straight up, delete the noise. I deleted my social media a year ago. I deleted basically all of my social media around a year ago, and it changed everything. When you aren't constantly bombarded with other people's lives, you stop comparing. You have so much more time to focus on your own stuff. Then find your mission. FOMO only hits you when you don't have a direction. When you're obsessed with a project or a goal, you don't have the mental space to care about what a random friend is doing on a Saturday night. And finally, accept the choice. Understand that every time you choose to build your life, you're choosing not to do a million other things. That's not a loss, that's focus. You don't need to be everywhere at once. You don't need the latest trend. You just need to show up for yourself. When you start loving the work you're doing, the fear of missing out disappears because you realize that the only thing you were really missing out on was your own potential.